Hey friends, great to have you back with us on our See the Light, Yes You Can Draw Club. I'm Pat Nepley, I'm your master artist. I'm with you through all of these club meetings and I hope you brought a friend this time. It's really fun to learn to draw together. So today we're going to be talking about point of view. So for today you're going to need, of course, a pencil, a grade eraser, a couple of sheets of paper, any size is fine. Some objects you might find under your bed in your room, like a shoe or some books, or maybe a matchbox car or something like that. I also have a Sharpie marker here. You don't need it for today, but I'm going to be using it later on in our meeting. Okay, so the last few times that we've been together, we've been talking about things you need to know as a young artist, how to make your drawings more realistic. So what have we talked about so far? We talked about horizon line, remember that? And proportion, making sure things are in the correct size relationship to each other. Correct proportion of hands or head. We talked about scale, how you show scale by the size of objects around your main object. And today we're going to be talking about point of view. I like to call it the birds and the worms. Because the first point of view we're going to talk about is a bird's eye view. Now, if we're talking about point of view, we're talking about how you see things, whether you're at eye level or something is below eye level or above eye level. You might remember back in club meeting number 4, we talked about it when we were doing some of our contour drawing. So if you're looking down on something, it is below your eye level. But if you're looking up at something, it is above your eye level. Eye level and point of view go hand in hand. For example, most artists assume that the person looking at the artwork is either standing or sitting, almost like you're at a window and the artwork is outside the window. It could be an interior scene or a landscape or any type of drawing. But that is what the artists generally do, like a central point of view, as if you're standing or sitting. But that can get boring after a while. So something exciting you can do when you're learning to draw is mix up your point of view. Let me give you an example. This is a great piece of artwork from the classic American artist Grant Wood. Imagine you're a hawk sitting on top of a telephone pole and looking down at this scene. It's a bird's eye view because you see the cars zipping by on the highway below you. So you're looking down. Here's another one by the great American artist Wayne Thiebaud, and this one's called Flat River. It's as if you're in an airplane. You're really up high. Notice you get to see all the fields and orchards and the river winding through it. Take a look. The horizon line for this Wayne Thiebaud painting is at the very tippy top of the painting. Now, what do you think the opposite would be of a bird's eye view? Well, it's called a worm's eye view. That means you're really low, looking up at something. Now, if I were going to do worm's eye view, I would probably have to lay on the ground. There are a lot of photographers who love to do fun things with worm's eye view, putting a camera on the ground and it gets a view of people's legs or of a cow looking down to feed on the grass. Really fun, but it's a little tricky to do when you're drawing. It's uncomfortable to lay and draw at the same time, but you can do it. Now, if I were going to do a worm's eye view drawing, let's just say I want to show something that's under my bed. I'm at a low eye level, which means I don't really see a lot of the top of objects. So if I had a shoe and some books that were scattered under my bed, and I were down really low to draw them, I would see the sides of these objects, but you notice I don't see the top. For example, here's my shoe and books right here at the end of my table. But I'm too high. My eye level is too high. If I want to get down to worm's eye view, I can either lay on the ground and put them on the ground, or I can make sure that my eye level is right at the same level as the objects. So I could do it sitting here. It still will make it look like it's worm's eye view. See? As if I'm on the floor with the objects. So that's how worm's eye view is accomplished, and it can be a much more interesting point of view then straight on. See, now that I'm standing, I can see the tops of those books and the top of that shoe. But my worm's eye view, I'm way down low. I could finish this drawing off by showing the bottom of a bedspread, perhaps even a part of my bed with a wheel, maybe even a few little dust bunnies. And it would look like I'm laying on the ground. So you can do that too. You can put together a matchbox car, perhaps some other small items, some jacks, a ball, and lay them down and practice drawing from a worm's eye view. Okay, here's another point I want you to know, my friends. Remember when we talked about horizon line a few meetings back? Horizon line is where the sky and the earth meet. It still happens when you're in an interior scene inside. It's just somewhere outside. But here's the trick I want you to always remember. The horizon line is always your eye level. So for example, look at this painting by the famous artist Claude Monet. It's called La Terrasse de Saint-Adresse, and it's the artist is standing on some stairs leading down to a restaurant patio. It's a beautiful scene because the restaurant is right by the ocean. And see where the horizon line is? High in that painting? That's the eye level of the person who drew it. Horizon line is always at eye level. Good thing to remember. So if I'm showing worm's eye view, I want to make sure my horizon line is low because my eye level is low. In the Claude Monet painting, the horizon line is high because his eye level is high. Okay, so we talked about worm's eye view, and you could get down on the ground and practice doing things low. In fact, you could sit on the floor as opposed to in a chair and change that point of view. What if you wanted to do something from bird's eye view? Well, one way you could do it, my friends, is if you live in a building that has multiple stories, you could be at an upstairs window, and you could draw, looking out the upstairs window, from a high point of view, draw what you see out the window. If you live in a really tall building, like in a city where you can look out, you'd have an amazing bird's eye view. And a lot of artists have done beautiful paintings outside of skyscrapers looking down into the city. So practice with worm's eye and bird's eye view. Let's do something really fun right now with bird's eye view. Let's just do the ultimate bird's eye view, which is looking straight down. This is a fun exercise, so grab a piece of paper. I'm going to switch to a marker, but you stay with a pencil, and we're going to do a bird's eye view of your breakfast. So let's just do it together. The first thing we're going to draw is a placemat. Now remember, this is as if we're looking straight down on the table. There, so a rectangle will be our placemat. We're looking straight down now, so now we're going to do our plate. And we'll just do a round plate. Still looking down, what if we have a glass? Now you know that a glass, if you're looking at it from a side, would look like this. That's what our OJ would be in, right? But we're looking straight down, so it's going to look like another circle. Let's put in our utensils. So we're going to have a fork over here, and we're going to have a knife, and of course our spoon. We have to have something on the plate looking straight down. Let's just say today's breakfast is some waffles and some bacon. That sounds great to me. So a waffle has those little cut out squares, but let's put a pat of butter on it, maybe some syrup. Doesn't that sound great? I'm getting hungry. Again, we're doing an extreme bird's eye view, that we're looking straight down. How about we do some wavy strips of bacon? We'll just stay with 2. And of course, most plates have kind of an indentation there. Oops, can't forget the napkin. So let's make sure we draw a napkin under our fork. I think we need some fruit. Now you know that an apple, because we've drawn a lot of them here at our club, would probably look something like this. But what would it look like from a bird's eye view? Well, the stem would be at the top, but it's kind of a roundish shape. So if I were to place an apple here, I'd say it's almost kind of round, not totally round, and then you'd see the stem from the top. So this would be an extreme bird's eye view. And because it's right on top, there's no horizon line. You can't show a horizon line. You're looking straight down. But you could play around with this too, my friends, and do from standing, and then from sitting at the table, and then maybe even sitting right next to the table to get the worm's eye view of your breakfast. Okay, so whether you're seated on a chair or seated on the floor, you get to see things from an amazing perspective depending on whether you're standing or sitting. Aren't your eyes amazing things? I think so. Your eyes are so essential because, as you know from one of our first club meetings, we say that good drawing is drawing what you see and not what you know, what you really see. You know, it reminds me of a really great verse in Deuteronomy, because God gave us the wonder of our eyes. So this verse is Deuteronomy 10:21. It says, "He is your praise, He is your God, who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes." Have you ever seen amazing wonders? I bet you have. I know I have. I've seen a waterfall that was so big I couldn't believe it in Yosemite National Park. I've seen a spider spin a web right in front of me. It was incredible. Or a hummingbird hovering at a flower. Or perhaps the Grand Canyon. I bet you've seen wonders, and they're around you all the time. And God gave us great eyes to see all that He has made. So when you think about your eyes and what you're seeing, think about point of view. Because if you can understand bird's eye view and worm's eye view and mix it up in your drawing, you will be a better artist. Okay, my friends, that's all the time we have for today. Hope to see you next time.